guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video. Today I want to share with you my final wrap up of the year. These are the books that I was reading over November and December primarily. So I wanted to talk about those. I have 9 books to talk about. I didn't read a bunch of things, but I did read some things, so I wanted to wrap this year up finally. So the first thing that finished was Return of the Thief by Megan Wallen Turner. This is the last and final, 6th and final book in the Queen's Thief series. This is a series that is following Eugenides. Eugenides is a thief and he is captured by the Queen, and things happen. I don't want to say too much. It's a lot of fun. It's a YA fantasy, and I thought that the last book here wrapped up really well. I enjoyed my time with it. It's definitely a comfortable read, and I've started collecting the books now so I can reread and stuff like that in the future. And I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars, so I highly recommend it. If you haven't picked it up yet, it's a really good YA fantasy, very different from other YA fantasy that I've read. The second book that I finished was Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. This is the first book I read by T. Kingfisher, so I'm very happy to finally have read something from her. I have wanted to read her for a long time, but for some reason just never really got around to it. And this is a retelling of Snow White, and I'm usually not a big fan of fairy tale retellings, but this one I think that they was done really well. There was a different take on it that I really enjoyed. If I read fairy tale retellings like this that are so famous, I want them to sort of be very different. Like, you still know it's that, but there's some twists and things about it that's different. And in this one we're following a girl who she's sort of able to distinguish poisons, but there's something about it you're not supposed to be able to do this. And then the king comes to her because her wife he just witnessed his wife taking the heart of his kid, and so in order to protect his other kid, he killed her. So yeah, a lot of things going on, and then he wants to make sure that nothing happens to the remaining child that's left, sort of like that, I think. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I read the first book, so it's a little bit muddy, but I enjoyed my time with it. It was a fun introduction to T. Kingfisher. I definitely understand why she's so beloved. I don't know, it's definitely not a new favorite, but I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars, so I'm definitely intrigued to read some more by T. Kingfisher. The next thing that I finished was Park Avenue Prince by, I forgot the author's name, but I read the whole series. This is the last book in this series. This is a series that follows wealthy people, different places that has sort of a title that seems royal, but they're not necessarily royals, if you will. In this one I didn't really like our main characters. Our main male character is he's an orphan coming from a bad place, and he has sort of worked his way up and is now finally he bought a big apartment at Park Avenue. And then we're following our female lead. She is friends with our female lead from the first book, and chronologically this is set right after that book, but in the combined series package it came as the last one that in my sort of box set. And I'm happy it wasn't the second one, because I don't know if I had continued if I read that one, because this was really not really my thing. Our female main character is the woman from the first book's best friend, and she has just opened a gallery and is showing off some pictures, but they are from her ex's works. And yeah, but then our main male character comes to see some of the show and wants sort of her help to find interesting pieces for his home, because he has no idea about these things and he doesn't really care, but he wants something that is meaningful and pretty at the same time, and also have some value. And so yeah, she took so in that way, and then they start having chemistry happening. Yeah, I didn't enjoy the romance. I didn't really enjoy the characters, so it really didn't have a lot of things going for it that I really wanted this for this romance. I ended up giving it 2 out of 5 stars. Definitely my least favorite I've read by this author. and the least favorite in the series, but I'm happy I stuck with this series overall because there was a lot of other really good books in the series. The next thing that I read was Vera Wrong's Unsolicited Guide for Murderers by Jessie Sultano. Jessie Sultano, I think. This is the first book in a cozy mystery series we are following. Vera Wrong, who has a tea shop, and one day she finds someone murdered in her tea shop, and she just wants to help people out, so she draws a line around the body and wants to try and help the people figure out that this is a murder that happened and not just a coincidental death. But the police doesn't really want her help, and actually becomes really annoyed with her because she's sort of touched like the evidence and stuff, and they still think that it was just a sort of allergic reaction. But then at this day, 4 people comes to visit her shop, and she decides one of them has to be the murderer. So what does she do? She invites everyone in to her home, like, sort of for a feast or whatever, and starts to get to know them, becomes friends with them, so she can determine who could have killed this man. And as time goes, you find out the man that was killed was not a very nice person, but still, and she becomes really good friends with all these 4 people and becomes sort of a found family aspect of it. And yeah, I enjoyed my time with this series, this book very, very much. I really enjoyed it and understand why people have been so happy raving about this book over the past couple of years. I don't remember when it came out, but I've definitely seen multiple people read it, and I end up giving it 4.5 stars. It's just my kind of thing. I love cozy mysteries, and I thought the Chinese cultural aspect of it was really a nice addition to it. So very happy to have read this one, and will definitely continue. But I don't know what the next one will be, because I really still want the found family element that we have in the first one to be in the next book. So I don't know how that's gonna happen, if it's not following those 5 people as a whole. Anyway, that was that book. The next thing I read was The Sirens by Emilia Hart. Sorry, Emilia Hart. This was nominated in the Goodreads Choice Awards this year, and so I was interested in trying to see what it was. I've never heard of it, so I don't know why it was nominated. And I started listening to it. It was sort of Irish folklore stuff, but with mermaid people happening things. I never really got fully invested in the story. The narration of the audio was actually pretty good, but I just never was immersed in the story, so I never really got full value of it. I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars, and quite unmemorable to me. Next thing that I read was Conflicting Evidence by Lina Diaz. This is the first book in this bind-up of 2 books. This follows Peyton Sterling. Peyton Sterling is a woman. Her brother was sentenced to jail many years ago for setting a barn fire, and yeah, but now he has escaped, and in the process apparently killed an officer and is on the loose, but she sort of helps him escape in a way. And now our male character is working for is a US Marshal, and he is working on trying to capture him again. So he wants to sort of work with her in order to find her, but he is also her ex-boyfriend and childhood boyfriend, but they haven't really talked about it together since her brother's sentence, actually before that. So there's a lot of really weird emotions surrounding them, and then a lot of secrets about the Peyton family sort of shows up, and yeah, I wanted to enjoy it, but I didn't. I really disliked our main characters, both of them. I didn't like the romance, and I didn't like the mystery elements of it. I don't know, it was just not my thing. It wasn't set up really well, so I ended up giving it 2 out of 5 stars. Could have definitely done a lot better, but yeah, I read it and I finished it. The next thing I finished was I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones, and I was really looking forward to reading this. I had seen so many great things about Stephen Graham Jones. I still want to read more of his books. there's a lot of things in this book that reminded me a little bit of Stephen King's way of storytelling, so that I could definitely understand why some people really enjoy his books. I don't know what it was about this one, but I never really understood what was going on. I was never really immersed in the story as a whole. So I don't know, I end up giving 3 out of 5 stars. A little bit underwhelmed. But I am looking forward to reading on in the series, in his book, so I can see if there are books that I really enjoy. But this was just not a hit for me. Next up, I read Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson for a vlog. This is a YA fantasy, very hyped at the time I started BookTube. This is following the 3 perspectives actually. Our main character is a princess. She is about to be married on to another family, sort of for political alliances, but she doesn't really want to. And at the last minute, she flees from the land and escapes and hides herself in a small village. And then we follow the perspective of a prince and an assassin. The prince said that she was supposed to marry, and the assassin, someone who's been sent to actually kill her. And they both have tried to find her, and not super far into the story, they find her in this village, and they sort of start befriending her instead, and getting to know her instead of doing what they were set out to do. And they don't reveal who they are. When you're reading from the male perspectives, it might say the prince and the assassin, or it might say their names Caden or Rafe. And when you see it from Caden and Rafe's perspective, you obviously see them where they're not doing any assassin or prince worthy things, but they're just interacting with our main character and sort of like that. So you don't have an idea in the way who is who, but when the reveal finally happens, it's a lot of fun discovering it. So I had a lot of fun time with this one. I definitely understand its appeal and why it was so popular at the time. It's different from other YA fantasy that I've read, so in that way I enjoy my time with it. I don't really enjoy love triangles so much, but I think it was handled pretty well in this one so far, but we'll see how it goes in the coming books. I end up giving this book 4.5 stars. I'm definitely intrigued to read on in the series, so I need to get a hold of the second copy, and yeah, enjoy my time with it. And don't let the sort of slimmer-ish book fool you. It is actually 500 pages. It's just thin pages. The last and final book that I read in 2025 was Silverborn, The Mystery of Morrigan Crow, the most recent book in the Nevermore series. This is the 4th book in the 4th installment in the series, and we are following Morrigan Crow as she's continuing to get to know Nevermore and everything that it entails. In this one, she discovers that she has some aunts, some part of her family that she never knew about, and they are known as the Silverborns. So that's why it's the title. And she comes into the Silver District, which it is called, and tries to get to know them. And she gets into a conflict with Jupiter, who has been her patron for the past couple of books, and helped her out because she believes that he has kept secrets from her and was very angry about it. And so, but then someone, as she is at a wedding for her aunt's wedding with another one, a man, the groom, is murdered, and things happen from there. So it becomes a mystery for Morrigan to find out who is the killer, as well as trying to make sure that no one suspects her, because a lot of people have shown hate towards Morrigan because she is a Wundersmith, and it's something that happened in the earlier books, that you find out in the earlier books. I loved getting back into this series. It's not my favorite book in the series. It was I only ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. Maybe it's a little higher, a higher 4 stars, because there's a lot of things that I really enjoy my time with. But there was Morrigan's sort of characteristics in this one was a little bit annoying. She did some things that I was really not happy with. And it took a longer for me to really get into the story, but at the same time I really enjoyed my time getting back with it. There's still this whimsical part of the story. It wasn't as whimsical as the first couple of books, but I think that might be because we were spending time in the Silver District instead of the Deucalion, which is the hotel that she's used to, where everything is sort of magical and everything, and this one sort of lacked that a little bit. But on the other hand, I still enjoy my time, and there's a lot of things that happened, important things, and I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen in the future. Not all of the books in this series should necessarily be 5 stars, but this was a 4-star still, so I still really highly recommend the series, and one of my absolute favorite middle grade series of all time. Yeah, those are all of the things that I finished over the last couple of months in 2025. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of the books that I've been talking about today, and what were your thoughts about them if you did. Did you end up with some really 5-star books, the favorite books, or anything? I didn't, but I still had some pretty decent books here at the end, so I'm really happy about that. At least hopefully 2026 will be an even better reading year, but a little bit more consistent. That would be great, but yeah, we'll see how things go. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in another video very, very soon. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Bye.